morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you're watching this video. And welcome to another episode of On the Road with Lwando Vlog. VOLG Vlog, yeah. I think that's what they still call this day. So basically, again, I've done this before actually, and then this is another one basically. So, what have I been to? A lot actually has been going on. So I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit actually and go back all the way to in December, where basically I was tasked basically to shoot a wedding video. So I've basically done the short version of it, which I'm actually going to show you here, provided actually that the couple would like me to do it. And then I'm just now busy doing the final touches basically on the bigger project video that I'm doing also as part of this wedding video that I was doing. And so the wedding was actually in two places. It was in Kimberley and Oudtshoorn. It was literally a 5-day affair. So yeah, I remember it came to a point where basically it was, we just lost track of time because so many things were happening all at once. Basically the trip obviously started actually with a glitch. So what happened is that actually I took my car in for a service. This was 2 days actually before I had the original plan basically was for me to travel basically with my two friends who were assisting me with the shoot. From Cape Town to Oudtshoorn, and then from Oudtshoorn we're going to travel to Kimberley. And got to the dealer, and then they said, oh, something was wrong with my car, that the parts that tappet cover that actually they needed to replace. And they couldn't do that. So they said, okay, it's fine, your car will be back tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, I still have at least like a day and a half to play around before things get critical. So then they're like, oh, sorry, the part is in Pretoria. If you're not now familiar with South Africa, Pretoria and Cape Town, it's quite a distance. So then they said, okay, they'll wait for the part is going to come. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's fine, I'll wait. But now I'm like thinking, plan B, what's going to be plan B? So now it came to a point where I remember now on the day where now it was literally zero time for me to leave. Then they told me, oh, unfortunately, the part hasn't arrived. So basically for me, then that became a tough pill to swallow. And then now, there was now plan B. Now, plan B meant I had to now, when I get the car, I had to drive all the way from Cape Town to Kimberley, bypass Oudtshoorn. And what happened was now, they're like, oh, sorry, they couldn't, oh, when they fixed it, now there was a bit of a problem where they were trying to test, and then they found, I think it was the gasket for the coolant was leaking. That's a part they didn't have in store, which meant now they don't have a car. I don't have a car to travel to the wedding that I'm shooting. And for me, it's a big thing because this is like a huge gig for me and I need to get there. So I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? So now it just became where I'm like, you know what? I need to put my Karen mode. So basically I was like, no guys, I told you long before why I need a car and I need to travel as in pronto. And after a whole deliberation, then they decided, okay, yeah, they're going to give me a car. And yeah, so I ended up giving me it was a Ford Ranger, which was a very cool car. It was actually quite cool, even though it was actually the Ford Ranger XL, yeah, not the XLT, the XL, the entry level. Still quite cool, but it's huge. That car is big. So now it meant we had to race from Cape Town to Kimberley. And luckily for us, actually, we traveled 2 days prior before the wedding. So it meant that at least we still had time to kind of play with. We thought actually we had time. Turns out there was actually not enough time. So yeah, it was a very nice, cool drive all the way. Actually, it was the first time for me actually experiencing the bit of like the Karoo and, you know, and which was actually quite, yeah, amazing. But driving there at night with all these kudus and bucks that are just busy jumping on the road. And it came to a point where when I was driving, I would literally wait for a car to overtake me because then every time they will try to brake, that's when I knew that, okay, something was happening. Then I'll also like slow down And now, so we drove, and then eventually we got there at 2 a.m. in the morning. So when we got there at 2 a.m. in the morning, you can imagine how tired we were. And then the first, basically, luckily, the bride to be, actually, she was actually out there to meet us as also at that time. And also my friends were also like there. So then after that, we like decided, okay, we need to park the car, and then they gave us some food, and then we decided, no, what, we need to go to sleep. Luckily, where we were sleeping, where they booked for us, was quite close by. So time now is 3:29 a.m. So luckily for us, the bride's family actually booked us some very nice accommodation, close, not far from the home. But tired is an understatement. Driving for non-stop for just over 10 hours is a no joke after the whole morning affair that I had with the dealer that actually deals with the servicing of my car. And yeah, but eventually they gave me like something nice to drive, which at least now I got to test drive. Yeah, so it was quite good. So yeah, it's it's now after 3:30 a.m. and I need to be up again just after 7 till 8 a.m. so that we can go and prepare for the groom's family arrival. So we're gonna also be shooting that part. Yeah, and then we're gonna also gonna go to the venue to go do some scouting because I want to see basically how where to place the cameras for video, and then also where for the photographer how we're gonna need to rehearse how we're gonna move around, and we also need to know how the groom and the bride and the officiant they're gonna stay where they're gonna be standing, basically for blocking, so that I know exactly that where basically where they're standing, that the camera can be able to see them. And then probably also test the live stream, but I'm gonna do a test live stream here at the room, preparing for Friday because today is Thursday. Oh yeah, preparing for Friday just to make sure that everything is working fine. And yeah, so now just gonna take a nap. Literally, I'm tired. 10.5 hours of driving nonstop is no joke. It's very therapeutic for me, but it's definitely a no joke. But anyway, as always, I always enjoy being on the road. So yeah, let me take a nap, and I'm gonna see you in the morning when I uh, wake up, basically. Oop. Yeah, so we tried to sleep, and then it was the next morning now, which was the Thursday, the 12th. Need to get my dates right. Yeah. Okay. Now I got my bearings right. Yes. So it was Thursday the 12th. So that was, why is my focus out? Yeah, it was Thursday the 12th. Basically, we're now the first it was Thursday the 12th. Basically, where now we had to do the first bit of filming. So now they were having basically Ulwamkelo Labayeni. This is basically now where the bride's family will be welcoming the groom's family. So I was actually quite learning quite a lot also while I was at this wedding. And this actually kind of gave us a glimpse. I brought two cameras basically to the shoot and a small camera. Two cameras failed. By failing, I mean they overheated. Then it came to a point there was a running joke basically in the kitchen because I'd be busy trying to shoot, and then I had to take the two cameras and put them in a deep freezer just to cool them down as quickly as possible. That's how hot Kimberly was. I was not prepared. Like, it was really hot. For today's thingy, I'm just wondering this. Tomorrow it's all black. I don't know how that's gonna work. Oh, sure. Yo, it's a bangigalela amanzi like apha entloko nasesifubeni. It's so hot ngathi ndizawufainta. That's how tough it is. And so what they did, actually, they had a stretch tent, like a nice white stretch tent, which is beautiful for images because now you have all this nice diffused light, but it also traps heat and light. It was just so hot. And I remember there was a time when they were passing around these cold drinks and ice. And people literally were just gunning for the ice because that's how hot it was. No, but it was like a very beautiful ceremony. You could see like the groom's family like were prepared to for this whole thing. And then later on, so they kind of did things kind of a bit mixed up. And then later on, it was when now, wait, was it? Yeah, later, yeah. So then obviously, oh yeah, actually I need to backtrack. So what happened was that actually when first of all, the groom's family need to come, they must come to the bride's house and they will get like some sort of like a welcome at the gate. And it was quite nice to see the whole commotion. It's like this whole game that each family plays to see how long literally can they push the other family, either side. And it was quite interesting. And so, it was literally quite, yeah. So that was actually the exciting. So then now what happened was that on the evening we had to go to the venue, the wedding venue, where we actually wanted to see basically, because I wanted to visualize, and also we needed to, because I've seen it on the pictures, but now I had to see the venue in person, basically how it looks like, so that we can plan basically how we're going to shoot. Because another requirement that was required by the client was the live streaming of this event, so we also needed to make sure that that's going to work. So yeah, I went to view the venue, which actually kind of just gave me like a plan. And therefore, so in the evening, we went back to basically where we were staying. And unfortunately for my colleagues that I was traveling with, I had to make sure that actually we do a whole full test basically of how the live stream basically was going to flow. So originally I wanted to do it via Microsoft Teams, but then I realized that actually it doesn't really work. It's not free. Then I had to move back again to YouTube. So I've been live streaming a while on YouTube because I was always worried about the whole copyrights thing. But actually it worked out very well and actually quite seamless, basically streaming over YouTube. So yeah, it was great. And then so now from where the brides stay and also the venue, it's about a 30-minute drive, just over a 30-minute long drive basically between the venue. So in the morning, we had to split up. So my one colleague, she was shooting basically the groom, the preparations of the groom, while me and the other, basically other colleague, we were busy following the bride in the morning. So we're busy shooting that. And then I had to also ask the colleague now who was at the venue to start the live stream. And so I had to watch on YouTube. Luckily, no one was watching at the time. So then I get to see, oh, this is working, this is not working. So we can quickly try and troubleshoot that. And also, that's also when the bride, she was just busy preparing. So we had to take pictures and videos of the preparations and then immediately race to the venue before they arrive. And yeah, when they arrive, as you know, and for me, I was like so nervous because my heart literally was pumping, because for me, I just knew everything that I was taking, whether be it the pictures that my colleague was shooting or me with the videos and the live streaming. We only had one chance to do it. And yeah, that was the hectic part. So for everyone else, it was, a whole smooth sailing. But for me, I was like constantly thinking, oh my God, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? But I was just telling me, if anything goes wrong, rather have redundancy or a backup in case, something happens. But yeah, so then the wedding ceremony happened. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the couple, like they've actually, because I've spent actually quite a lot of time with them long before the wedding, actually. So it was quite actually to see the day finally coming. So that's why I'm also pushing now on the bigger project video so that it comes out as soon as possible. And then afterwards, the next day, yeah, so then we had the reception. The reception happened. So the reception actually, we were actually given now way shorter time between the actual end of the wedding and the reception starting. So which means it was cutting down on all the way I planned the shoots to happen. So everything we kind of had to try and make do and rush at some places, because we had to do a whole setup again, at the reception venue. And now, ideally, I would have loved to actually also live stream the reception venue side, but it turns out actually where the sound guy set up, he set up right behind the stage, and we were at the back, like, because we need to see basically what's happening on stage. So it meant that now we couldn't live stream, but we did record that part. Yeah, it was actually quite a bit long, which I understand again, because so many people wanted to say something about, this incredible, beautiful couple, that we were there basically to witness their union. So yeah, we finished, I think, after midnight from there. And then we had the Sunday, basically, where we had to basically, oh no, yeah, the wedding was on Monday. Sorry, it was on, why am my dates so wrong? The white wedding was on Friday. Yes, the white wedding was on Friday, the 13th, which is why everything was so long. Yes, that's why I now remember. The white wedding was on Friday the 13th, and then, or on the original schedule, we are actually scheduled to travel back to Oton on Saturday. But then we were kind of given like a leeway, basically, to say, okay, it's time actually on Saturday for everyone to kind of relax. So then the groom's family was supposed to depart to Oton basically to prepare, on their side. So just in case you didn't know, African weddings, I think it's almost every African culture, there's more likely, and it will always actually be two weddings. One wedding basically will be on two venues. We'll start at the bride's home, and then we'll move to the groom's home. So we started with the white wedding at the bride's home, and then the Saturday, basically, it was just, we did also a bit of filming and shooting, basically pictures of when the groom's family was departing. So then they were driving all the way to Olson. And so, yeah, then we were kind of had a bit of a free time because we thought we were also going to drive down with them to Olson. But then we're like, then the bride was like, no, we can actually stay an extra day in Kimberley. So we're going to leave on Sunday. So we're thinking, okay, what to do in Kimberley, because it was still hot. They're like, let's go visit Kimberley, the big hall in Kimberley. It's actually quite hard to find the entrance to the place. We ended up not finding the entrance because Google will show us go there, and then we end up in a taxi rank. And then we decided, let's go to those one township which was close by just to see the vibe. So we just drove there around, and then we came back, relaxed, because we had the long drive basically the next morning now, which was the Sunday. I think it's another 5-hour drive, basically from Kimberley to Olton, which was nice because now as we're driving, now you get to see the Karoo during the day, and you see dust storms, like a real dust, because I'm only seeing dust storms in movies, basically, especially if you live like in the Middle East. But now to see them in the Karoo, and it's like this dust devils going around. Yeah, it was actually quite a very nice, chill drive. It was still quite hot though. And then when we got to Beaufort West, Google decided actually that, let's test this car in basically an off-road setting, basically. Because instead of showing us a way, they said, oh, take this way. So as we're driving, we're like, okay, what happened to the road? Want to find us, it gave us a shortcut through like this nice gravel road. That's actually where we got to see how smooth the Ranger is, basically on the gravel road. So travel through that. Then we drive, and then eventually we get to Olton. It's first time also for me that I've been. Oh no, before I actually went to Olton, I want to show you a little bit of basically of this place called the Meerings. Here's the name right here. It was such a beautiful, because you drive through these beautiful mountains. For me, it was actually someone actually did a bit of geology. It was such a beautiful sight, basically, where you see all these layers of sandstones. There was actually a waterfall, but because of the time, we didn't even actually go to the waterfall. We're just actually mesmerized by how beautiful driving at that pass. But also now it's also quite scary because there's almost no barriers. So if you speeding up or anything, you can just fall off basically. But it's such a beautiful drive. And then yeah, eventually we arrived in Oldson, and then yeah, we're greeted by the groom's family and also the groomsmen who were there doing some nice dancing and all these things. So basically, the Sunday was more of a chill day, but it was not a chill day because we're still waiting now for the arrival of the bride's family. So the same thing that was happening in Kimberley was supposed now to happen all over again in Oldson. And yeah, they arrived, but when they arrived, it was literally already at night. So we had to do the whole welcoming at night. And you know, the nice thing, which I always laugh sometimes with these things, it's all nice, it's beautiful, everything when it's like at night or it's at dark. But for the camera, it's a struggle to shoot anything at night because there's also no street lights. There are street lights, but it's those tall ones. So there's those what you call sodium vapor ones. So again, sodium vapor is not that bright. So unlike LEDs. So now we had to like make do basically with what we can. I did try to catch some footage. I actually did manage to catch some. Don't ask me how I did it, or where basically I had to stand. But yeah, it had to happen. So yeah, it was that. And then now arrived Monday the 16th, basically. So on Monday, then we woke up, and then now it was basically the preparation of the traditional wedding side of things, where basically now the groom's family is welcoming their bride. So yeah, it was actually also again a very nice, beautiful. So and it's actually a learning curve, literally for everyone who was there because each person or family they have their own interpretation basically of what's supposed to happen. But yeah, it was actually quite nice. You see beautiful people in their beautiful traditional attires. And yeah, we were just on the side, just shooting. And the nice thing actually about Old Zone is that as much as it was hot, there was a bit of a breeze for wind, so we were actually able to capture some nice footage there also of basically when they were doing, when the now the what you call the bride's family were bringing gifts to the groom's family, and then you know we had the whole now traditional wedding ceremony, which now was also quite tough because it also took a bit of time. That we planned actually that we are going to leave Oudtshoorn for Cape Town at around 2 p.m. And why is my thingy camera hunting for focus? Actually, I'm going to talk a bit about this camera at the end of this video. So yeah, then from there, I think we left Oudtshoorn at around 9 p.m. So we had to drive back to Cape Town. And then we got to Cape Town about 2 in the morning. And share my two colleagues still had to work the next day on the 17th. We're all exhausted, but all in all, that was a whole beautiful wedding. So that was basically my December. And then obviously, I went, oh no, actually, I was in Cape Town most of the time, just chilling. Yeah, actually, my partner came over, so we had a very, very good time. Yeah, so we spent, get to know each other, you know, visit a few places. Yeah, but it was actually quite nice because her birthday is actually coming up in the next few months. So I still need to figure out what I'm going to do for her birthday. Yeah. And oh, yeah, another big actually shout out on this video. Shout out to Uluba, Muindando. My fellow YouTuber is coming up. Yeah. And then now, basically, another thing what's been happening is that also this year I actually started school. So I'm doing my postgrad this year. I won't say in what, but I'm doing my postgrad. So yeah, it's been tough working full time, and also, so I work full time, and then I also have my work. I work full time, and then I have studies that I have to do, and then I have YouTube also that I also need to do. So which is why actually now the what you call the postings have been quite infrequent because of because I'm trying to keep up with all the assignments. But as soon as the school holiday comes, then I'm going to be actually editing more content that's supposed to, because there's a couple of episodes that are supposed to come up that will be following this actually particular vlog episode. Yeah, so that's basically what's been taking up most of my time. So it's just been a very hectic year that also needed quite a lot of discipline from my side. And also, again, sad news on my side was that I was actually 2 weeks ago from today. Yeah, I was actually involved in a car accident. Um, Literally my first ever car accident as a driver. Yeah, like literally the shame. It was pure accident. Luckily, no one was injured. The cars were injured though, because my car ended up being written off. Beastie. I've had this car for, this was actually its 10th year, and now it's literally all gone. So currently now I'm on the road without a car, which actually it's quite good because now I get to be creative basically on how I shoot my content. Um, so yeah, that's basically another thing that's been like the damper. And also, again, in between with all those things that I'm doing, because as I'm saying that I'm still working on the big project, which was the now big, massive wedding video, kind of documentary thing that I decided that I want to do. And yeah, you can actually just see actually from this T-shirt, because you might be wondering what's the Dad and Dad's camp. This was actually a very beautiful thing. Where, in case you didn't know, yeah, I have a son. I have a 7-year-old. So basically, yeah, we're invited to do a whole grade one dads and lads camp, which was also quite interesting because it's actually the first time where dads kind of get their freedom, being away from home with just their sons. And all I can say is it was fun, and some dads really got sloshed. The kids, it was actually quite fun for them because I think most of them went to bed at around 2 to 4 a.m. in the morning because that's when my son came like in. It was around 4 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, shame, this guy went to groove, kiddies groove. And yeah, he had lots of fun. It was also a very nice bonding session basically for us because we hardly ever together because he's in one city and I'm in Cape Town. So it was actually quite, yeah, good experience actually to be there and meet with them. So that's basically what I've been up to up until like today. And yeah, as I said, actually, I've actually been also testing out new basically equipment to also try and make sure that actually the production side of things it's quite good. So the main camera actually that I use, I'm not sure if you can tell the difference in terms of quality between this one and my other camera that I use. So the other camera that I use is quite a bit intimidating camera because it's more of what we call a cine camera. And this one is for me, it's actually a nice hybrid camera actually that I've been looking forward to it for quite a long time. So yeah, now the camera actually that is behind, it's the Nikon Z7 II. Yeah, if in American, it's the Nikon Z7 II. So that the nice thing actually about it is that it also brings back what I missed on with my Cine camera, the autofocus, because it was a struggle to shoot on my own because it's manual focusing. I always needed to put I'll have a placeholder here so that it can focus, and then I have to sit precisely at a place. Whereas compared with this one, that's why it's actually been hunting for focus behind me. So if I move around, or if I show you this, it's actually been helping quite a lot, especially because I'm a one-man show. As I've said before, I shoot here, write scripts, especially for videos that need scripts. I need to produce them. I need to again shoot and basically plan and edit sound and all those things. I'm all alone for now, which is why I'm saying once this channel really grows and actually maybe starts generating income, the first thing that actually the first person I want to employ is an editor. I think that's basically what I need the most. Yeah, so I've been actually been experimenting with quite a lot of equipment now to see basically what could work well. There's a camera I'm using actually, the Tascam DR10L. That's actually what I also used at the wedding. Those things are amazing. They're amazing because basically it's a microphone system that you just basically you put it on a talent and forget. That's what I used with the bride and the groom. But currently now, there was a special basically by this shop based in Johannesburg called Camera Stuff, where they were selling these basically what's the audio that's coming out of this. This is the, there we go. So this is the Godox basically that I'm using. So it's a wireless system. So W Mic S1 Pro. So basically, I'm also reviewing this. I hope the sound is actually quite good. And the nice thing actually about it is that if you can see, there's these two LED lights. They're also on top of on the receiver, on top of the camera. So that's actually how I know that actually it's connected, because if one of these lights turned red, actually I was recording earlier, the battery failed. So the nice thing about this, you can actually plug in USB-C power so that you can keep it powered on. So also this helps me also again in terms of editing, because now it means I don't have to sync any sound in post because it's already on camera. So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to since now. Yeah, there are a bit of changes. And again, I just want to say thank you to all the people who are subscribing, who are watching the content and making sure that the channel is growing. Yeah, again, if you do like this content that's here, please feel free also again to suggest episodes, basically anything that you'd like to know about Cape Town, especially if you're visiting Cape Town, basically what would you like to know, and I can go and explore on your behalf, basically, so that you can know exactly what you'll need in Cape Town. So yeah, you can suggest actually your episodes down in the comment section below. And also just basically for you guys, how's things been? How's 2025 been for you so far? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, stay curious and keep exploring. Basically, just make sure that you like and subscribe this video. This has been On The Road with Lwando, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.